Well, congratulations, you did it. Donald Trump is now the president of the United States. I hope you're happy. Now here's the problem, specifically for guys like me. I am a guy that indulges in a lot of sex. And it's usually the stinky, violent kind of sex with women. And of course, every time I have sex, it's unprotected raw sex. I don't wear any condoms. I don't care. And you can save the advice. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to raw dog sex until the day my wiener falls off. But the problem is, if you indulge in this lifestyle, you have a lot of pregnancy scares. And before Donald Trump came into the picture, this was all fine and dandy because, we could have just got rid of the little booger. Very simple, very clear. One day your big-headed baby's here with crooked feet. The next day he's not. He vanishes into the ether. But those days are now numbered because in about 2 months, Donald Trump is going to go into office and he's going to ban abortions. And women all over the country are going into a rage because of this. Because if there's one thing we do know is that women absolutely adore killing babies. It's like this has become a national pastime for women and nobody's talking about it. And that's why this morning, a lot of women are up in arms because Donald Trump won. They can't believe it. See, these women thought they were going to let guys like me raw dog them nonstop, and there's never going to be any consequences. Everything's fine. Nothing's ever going to happen. I can raw dog with all the liberties in the world. And we're spreading venereal diseases all over and just sending babies to the shadow realm. They really thought this was going to go on forever. Sorry. Those days are now gone. You can cry about it all you want. Those days are now over. And by the way, this doesn't mean I'm going to start wearing condoms. I'm not. I'm still going to be raw dogging these women. And if they get pregnant, they're going to have to figure things out because I can't have these little boogers running around affecting my schedule. I got things to do. I got to worry about myself. I can't properly look smacks if I have to worry about you and a stupid kid with silver teeth, a big head, and crooked feet. I'm going to tell you to get rid of the kid or give him up for adoption. You can do whatever you want with the kid, but I'm not going to be present. Yeah, you can go ahead and take me and put me on child support. I'll give you $250 a month. No problem. He's not going to call me daddy. We're not going to be a family. I don't care. I just want to have raw sex. We have to learn how to adapt, ladies. Okay, we have to learn how to adapt with modern times. The game has changed. You have to learn how to adapt to the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You guys had it really good for a lot of years. There should be no complaining. You have to figure out a way in which where you keep me happy by having unprotected sex and also prevent yourself from getting pregnant so we don't have a little booger running around affecting both our lives. Figure it out, ladies. Abortion is out of the question now. You're going to have to figure it out and adapt to the game like a football player or any athlete out there. It's called adapting. The Marines say it all the time, adapt or die. We got to have a heart as well. You got to feel for women. Because every woman I deal with, every faggot I deal with, I ask them the same question. How many bodies you got? And it's always the same. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. These women are out there having a lot of sex. And it's usually raw, violent, unprotected, disgusting, smelly sex. The stinky fat kind. And the problem with that type of intercourse, even though it's amazing, extremely pleasurable, I'm talking about the stinky, violent, a lot of bodily fluids, a lot of farting, a lot of urine. When you indulge in that type of intercourse, it is very easy to get yourself a kid. Very easy to impregnate a woman in that state. And so a guy like me starts to think and we start to see, well, the next 4 years is going to be a lot of unwanted pregnancies, a lot of little buggers running around that nobody wants. The mom doesn't want them, the dad doesn't want them. You know how every couple of years we have a new generation of kids. We have millennials, we have Gen Z, we have Gen Alpha, we have Gen this, Gen that. What are you going to call the next 4 years of kids that are going to be born? Kids that the mom doesn't want them, the dad, nobody wants them. Nobody wants these big-headed kids with crooked feet. What are you going to call this generation of kids for the next 4 years? They can't be aborted. Everybody wanted to abort all these kids being born the next 4 years, but you couldn't. So what do you call these little boogers? What do you call this generation? It's kind of like around here, this ghetto gagger neighborhood I live in. Everybody has a pit bull. Every block, 3 to 4 pit bulls. There's a surplus of pit bulls in this neighborhood. Everybody has there's too many pit bulls. And then you have a guy who smokes weed all day, unemployed, has a pit bull with a big pair of nuts, a massive schlong, and he's walking his stupid dog, and of course the dog is shitting all over the neighborhood. These people never clean up after their dogs, just go around here. And it's always a massive brick. It came from a pit bull, obviously. And then he sees another female pit bull, and the first thing he says to the guy, wow, that's a beautiful dog. Hey, my dog and your dog should have babies because we need more pit bulls in the neighborhood. And it's a pit bull, a ghetto gagger dog, so of course excessively fertile. One little drop of semen gives a litter of 12 or 15 babies. And now the hood is flooded with pit bulls. And nobody wants them, of course. Nobody wants these stupid dogs. They'll take them in for a week or two, and then I can't keep this dog anymore. They leave them outside. They go outside, tie him next to a tree, just tie him up to a tree and just leave him there, and the pit bull's all on its own. The dog is all on its own in this cruel, cold world. And so for the next 4 years, there's going to be a lot of unwanted babies being born that nobody wants them. We're going to get a new version of human, and people are not seeing this for what it is. These conservative values that Donald Trump is bringing, to clean up the country, these conservative values, these things have consequences behind them. We're ushering in a generation of babies that are half human, half pit bull, half retarded, autistic, excessively muscular. Nobody wants them, and they're out there in the world just roaming around with their Timberland boots, and the girls are wearing Air Max 95s, getting pregnant, biting people, mauling babies, robbing liquor stores, doing all sorts of crimes. And all because you thought it would be funny to vote in Donald Trump and not allow women to peacefully kill their babies. I hope you're happy. And I hope you're ready and prepared for the consequences of your actions. It's not going to be next year, the next 4 years, maybe not even the next 6 or 8 years. The consequences of your actions are going to come when these kids become teenagers. We, as a society, are going to have to pay the consequences for voting this maniac, this lunatic, this dictator, Donald Trump, into office, who doesn't allow women to peacefully kill babies. Doesn't allow guys like me, now I have to think. I used to have unprotected sex without having a second thought. Now I have to think about it. Look, there's dark times ahead of us. People are celebrating, jumping up and down in joy because Donald Trump won, but you don't know the portal of hell you just opened. You don't know the consequences we are about to face. So, of course, guys like me are always going to benefit. Look at Bitcoin. All my money's in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has hit an all-time high. And I expect Bitcoin to hit 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. The problem is I'm going to get a couple women pregnant, but the thing is, with a guy like me, I'm always going to figure it out. I'm not going to sacrifice my life and live a difficult life for anybody, not even a stupid booger kid. I'll go take my Bitcoins and run off into another country and not face any consequences. But what about the regular guy who doesn't think on his feet like me? What about your typical average Joe that gets a fat girl pregnant? He was desperate. The only option he had was an ugly fat girl. Got her pregnant. And now he has to deal with her, take her to family events, to weddings, to dinners. Show her off to his friends. One horny, desperate, lonely night turned into, this is my beautiful girlfriend/wife, Barbara. Then you have to hear everybody say, you didn't tell us you had a girlfriend. And you didn't tell us you had a fiance, you guys were expecting a baby. What? This came out of nowhere. And you see the look on people's face. You can read their micro-expressions, and everybody's disgusted by you. People can't even believe it. You're a loser. And when they get in the car, they're going to say, what a Michael is such a fucking loser. He's literally dating Gorlock the Destroyer. The girl who's always hanging out with Aiden Ross. Gorlock the Destroyer, the fat Mexican girl. I mean, they literally look like twins. This is insane. He's so gross. How desperate could he be? I take a lot of blame for all this stuff too, because, yesterday I told you guys, don't even focus on politics. Boy, was I wrong. I was wrong. I should have told you people, I thought Kamala Harris was going to win. I should have told you people, go out there and make your vote count and vote for Kamala Harris so we can keep the abortions going. We can keep the raw dog and we can keep the abortions going for as long as possible, at least for the next 4 years. Sure, the country was going to go to hell. Sure, we were probably going to go to World War III. Doesn't matter. But at least we can continue our lives of raw dog and having unprotected sex and not having little burgers running around that nobody wants. So I take a lot of blame. I put a lot of the blame on myself. And for that, I apologize. I should know that at this point I have an audience and I'm responsible for my audience. And I should really think about the things that I say on here. Because a lot of times I don't even think, but the things that I say really do matter. I'm sure all of you who listened to my video yesterday didn't even go out there and vote. And look at the consequences we're facing today. Thinking about this, I couldn't even sleep last night. I said, oh my God, what did I do? By not endorsing Kamala Harris or by not endorsing anybody, I literally endorsed Donald Trump. I literally endorse taking women's rights away from being able to kill their babies. And for that, I really want to apologize. I want to apologize for negatively affecting this country and your future. The idea that we can no longer send babies to the shadow realm is really heartbreaking this morning. I'm sorry.